you are the first person I'm having on this podcast that since I restarted the podcast.
I'm the first
Um,
guest.
yeah, you are. And at first, I mean, clearly I wanted to have you on my podcast in the past,
Mhm.
but you claimed that you weren't in the right headspace to be on my podcast. So
Yes.
what happened? What changed?
Everything. When you asked me if I wanted to be on the podcast for the first time, I was not in the right mental headspace where I should be talking about my experience. And I say that with a grain of salt because when people are going through things, they should talk about them because then other people can relate to them and they can talk about it, give each other advice and things like that. But I didn't feel like I was at the point where I had anything to say because I just didn't have the mental capacity for it at the time, you know?
I mean, I think you had the mental capacity to do it. I just think you were unsure of, like, maybe you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you feel like this is like an advice podcast, right? Like
To an
how to
extent.
be
Advice,
better.
information, yeah, how to be better, and I was not good at the time.
Yeah, so you felt like, how can I tell other people how to be better if currently right
If
now I'm
I'm
doing things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Um,
I don't feel confident enough in myself with the things that I'm doing day to day and the person that I am and the habits that I have and the mindset that I have to go on a podcast that is about like excelling in those things or at least excelling in parts of those things. I was like,
yeah.
why would he even want me on? You know?
Well, don't. Why would he even want me on?
Okay.
Don't do that.
You know what I
don't,
mean.
no,
You know what I mean.
don't
Like
don't say that
I just
because I
think
wanted you on regardless.
I think it's good timing now that I'm on later because I've gone through those things and like we had that conversation about like breakthroughs and I've
Yeah.
now gone through that and I feel like I am better set to talk about things now that
So
we're going to talk.
you said that you've had a breakthrough. What has led you to that breakthrough? What's led up to it? What are some steps you took or some things that happened that allowed that breakthrough to unfold?
I think there's a lot of different things and I think that it's different for everybody. I think those situations are super complex, but for me personally, it was a mix of realizing that the environment I was in was not for my benefit and it was dragging me down. It was not lifting me up. I think some of the people around me were dragging me down and not lifting me up. You know, you are who you hang around. And I think when you and I lived together our last semester of college, as you said before, I think that that happens for a reason. I think that that did happen for a reason because there was also people in my life when I was in that headspace and going through those things where they were like, Sarah, this is not you. Like, you even said to me the one time, you're like, Sarah, this is not you. Like, where did you go? Where's your personality? And I didn't feel like me either at all. And so when everyone around you is telling you, like, hey, maybe we need to look more at this, or hey, maybe you need some help with this, or hey, I see a difference. I'm noticing a change within you. That's what made me look inward and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm tired of this negativity. I'm tired of the habits that I have. I'm tired of my way of thinking right now. I'm tired of my patterns, all of this stuff. And so then I made a change. And for me, that looked like one, going back to my roots. What do I like? What do I not like? Who am I? What's the type of person that I want to be? And then setting goals that align with that, like my first ever half marathon. I was like, I want to be someone that works hard. I want to be someone that's determined. I want to be someone that achieves things. So I took a step to do that. Not that everybody has to run a half marathon, but like do what you need to do for you that's going to make you feel like the person you want to be, you know? So it was that. And then for like again, it's so personalized. For me personally, I love art. I love yoga. I love working out. I love science. I like reading studies. I like learning about psychology. I like reading books. That's just what I've liked. It's what I've always liked. And for me, it was really about doing those things more and then finding new things that I like. You know, I took up clay for a while. I made some pottery and it was fun.
Did you
And it was
paint the
a good
pottery?
time.
Did you
Yeah,
paint it
air
after
dry
you?
clay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
But
think I've seen any of that yet.
I think something that's important, I'm always a person that asks why for everything. You could say anything to me and I'm be like, well, why? Why? I always ask that question. It's like one of the golden questions in psychology. And one of my things was when people were like, take that energy and put energy into yourself and focus your energy on you. I was like, well, why? Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? What does that mean? And something I've come to realize is that just as an example, if you're in a relationship with someone and it's a toxic relationship, because people apply this to that a lot, and you are spending time fighting with them, texting them nonstop, crying about them, stressed and thinking like, how do I change this and what do I do, and all this stuff. And you're taking your time, your energy, your thoughts, and only focusing on that and applying it to that instead of taking the time. Well, cry a little bit, feel your feelings, cry it out. Then go do something with your time, your thoughts, your energy that you like to do, that benefits you, that brings you joy. And don't put all of your focus on to that person or that negative experience or that negative situation. Do it for you. And that also ties into finding out who you are and what you like and don't like and what brings you joy. So I think it was a combination of those things.
Yeah, I think energy dispersion in general, not a lot of people know how to navigate that specifically. Like when it comes to when your emotions give you that rush of energy and you don't know what to do with it. So some people they get really, really sad or really, really mad or super anxious and they don't know where to throw all this energy at. And sometimes the people in our lives can be casualties, right? Like in that us being super anxious, even though you think, oh, when I'm anxious, I'm just worried and I want everything to work out. You're good intentioned, right?
Mhm.
But when you're super, super anxious around people and
Yeah.
you can't clearly define the problem and what the solution is, it makes everyone else feel weird. And like in a way, you're draining energy from other people because you're not
Mhm.
taking that energy and doing something positive with it. I'm not saying you, I'm saying like
In
in
general.
general, like you go to the gym, right? You run. If you didn't run and go to the gym, you would probably consume everyone around you and like in anxiety,
A
right?
100%. A hundred
And
percent.
and I'm like, if I didn't go to the gym, I would be like probably, I mean, angry with
I,
myself, right? So like that's gonna project out as anger to everyone else around me, and I won't be in this calm, peaceful state that I'm allowed to be in because I've already worked out and ran and done all
Mhm.
these things that has taken energy from me, and I've put that energy into there. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people too think that we don't have a lot of energy. Like,
Oh
oh,
my
an
gosh.
hour at the
Yeah.
gym, like I have no energy anymore. It's like, no, like when you truly
40%.
want it, like we have unlimited energy to an
Not only
extent,
that,
right?
you
Yeah,
have an amount of physical energy, and then you have an amount of mental energy where even when you feel like you have no physical energy, you tell your brain, no, we're going to do this. Like the 40% rule, when you feel like you have nothing, you're only 40% there. Or you have 40% left,
absolutely.
whatever it is. And like I've
Yeah.
experienced that like in real time, like through running and through lifting and even throughout like my days in my job. Like I'm like I feel like I have like no energy left and I have nothing left in me. And I tell myself 40%, keep it pushing. And it works. Might be placebo, I don't know, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the treadmill, I think it was yesterday, and I was like on the brink of finishing like a 5K. And for the
Yeah.
last quarter mile, I was like, um I'm gonna crank this up to 10 and I'm gonna sprint like this last quarter mile. And as I was sprinting, I was like, oh, like my legs are gonna give out. Like, what if my legs give out and what if I fall on my face like on this treadmill in the middle of the
Then you get
gym?
a
Yeah, but like
that's what I would say.
I I almost let fear, like the fear of that happening, slow me
Mhm.
down. Like I almost was like, "Oh, like I'm going to slow down because I don't want something bad to potentially happen."
Mhm.
Right? But I didn't slow down and
Good.
I finished the 5K at, a
Yeah.
10 speed on the treadmill. But like we're going to quit mentally before we ever our body ever actually is done physically, right?
Oh,
Even if it's
100%.
a mental
Yeah.
misstep and you physically misstep because mentally you were somewhere else, it was all mental. Our
Mm,
body is designed to withstand more than we think we can withstand. And I
mhm,
actually, it's funny that we brought this up because I was just listening to a Brett Weinstein podcast with Joe Rogan, and he
mhm,
was talking about how millennials, there was an experiment I think that he ran, and millennials were, they were told to, you can pick anything that you want to do. You can do anything, but you have to make it objective. Either you completed it or you did not complete it. It is good
mm,
or it is like there's a score. Like you finished
yeah.
100 whatever or 50 whatever. It can't be subjective. Like I painted a picture and it was a nice picture because that's a
Mm,
subjective thing, right?
yeah,
Like
I
just for
got
an
you.
example, like you want to build a gaming app, right? Did you
Mm,
build the app or did you not build the app?
yeah, clear cut.
And he said that in the research it was found that millennials thought things were much harder, or they were much harder than they thought that they were going to be, right? Like building an app, they thought building an app was going
Mm,
to be easy, and then it turned out to be harder
mm,
than it was supposed to be. Now I found that very interesting because I feel like in our generation, in like the current state of the world right now, like people actually have more capabilities and more energy and more, like they can do more than they think that they can do.
mhm.
So I
Yeah.
found that very interesting, like that specific study, because that study went against everything that how I think about the world and how it runs right now. I mean, have you heard anything
Well,
about that?
I think also part of it you just said, right? People are more capable than what they think, right? So to them, to those kids, that might have been like a really hard, really difficult thing that they had to accomplish, right? But what if they're being their own worst critic? Or what if the entire time they're having negative thought patterns, especially with like social media and things like that? They're having negative thought patterns. This is hard. I don't know how to do this. This is so difficult. Instead of like taking a breath, recentering, and be like, all right, I'm going to figure this out step by step. So,
Yeah, I mean,
that could be it as well.
yeah, but these weren't kids; these were millennials. So they're like people in their
Oh, I
30s.
was thinking,
Yeah,
I
like
was
yeah,
thinking Gen Z.
no.
Well, either way, same thing, negative thought pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But like
Negative self talk.
I, I found that like, because the way my life's always been, right, is the moment that I sit down and I want to do something and I truly sit down and do it, like it becomes so easy because I'm just doing it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So whenever they have a goal laid out for somebody, it's like, okay, this is your
Yeah.
goal. It's like, all right, I'm going to do whatever I can in order to figure out how to do it. If this is like an experiment and I have nothing else to worry about except finishing this, like I'm going to finish it. I'm going to figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like not a lot of uh, people think that they don't have the energy and the capabilities when in reality they do. They just have to focus. That's all.
Yeah.
And
And I think, sorry.
go ahead.
I think a lot of that comes from negative self-talk because the way that you are what you think, the thought patterns that you have in your head are going to quote unquote manifest into your real life. So when you think a thought and you think it repeatedly, the neural pathways in your brain for that thought are going to strengthen. That thought is going to become a belief. So if they have a lot of negative self-talk, or whatever the case is, things they say on social media, being compared to people, not believing in themselves, whatever the case is, they now over time are going to form that belief, and that belief is going to manifest in their real life because they are going to go about their life through that reality, through even if it's subconscious, like, oh, I'm not really that good at my job, and oh no, I can't do hard things, or et cetera, you know what I mean? So I think that plays a role in it too, and I think that's why it is important to uplift other people to try to change that, you know?
So do you think that in that experiment specifically, that their inability or how they found it to be difficult was rooted in how that generation was raised? Like the
Partially.
different, yeah, okay.
Partially. I think not even just the generation at whole. I don't like generalizations because I think people experiences and reality and everything is so complex that you can't like. I don't really like blanket statements. Not like against you. I'm just saying like for my opinion, the the way that most of them are raised, not even raised, just the environment they've been around, the experiences that they had, yeah, the way they were raised, the people they were around, everything could have added to the fact that they thought that A, B, or C was really difficult. And that goes for anything in their life.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both have the same idea when it comes to what we're talking about, but I think because you're more psychology based and that was what you studied, that's
Mhm,
from a personal level. And because I
mhm,
studied economics and business, when I explain something and I think about it on more of a macro level than I
mhm,
do on a micro level, like person to person.
mhm. And
And
both
yeah,
perspectives are good.
yeah, person to person. That's why they have
Yeah.
macro and microeconomics. That's why they have
Yeah.
sociology and personal psychology. Like they're two
Yeah.
completely different lenses to have a perception on.
Mhm.
But one of the main things that I do generalize a lot though, because that's just how my mind works. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, if these three things happen historically, these next six things are going to happen. But sometimes only five of the six things happen.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I already self prepare myself for either the disappointment or the excitement, which both are bad. Even
Mhm.
preparing myself for the excitement is bad because if I expect all these six things to happen after these three things happen and only three of them happen, I'm actually disappointed, even though three things that happened are actually beneficial to me.
Yeah, and that's the perspective on it. Are you looking at glass half full or glass half empty? And I think that's interesting because we grew up in the same environment, right?
Yeah.
And even like college wise, stuff like that, like same environment, we know the same people, same family. And what's interesting is that you look at it from that perspective, whereas I look at things for like so particular, so complex, so individual that I actually don't even prepare for the good things. I think a lot of where my anxiety comes from is preparing for every single little bad thing that could happen down to its minute detail. And I think that, and I've gotten better at that. 1,000% I've gotten better at that. One of my favorite quotes is, not quotes, it's Bible verse, but it says, "You're not going to add another hour to your life by worrying."
Yeah.
Not the exact, but that's the gist of it.
Is that
And
Ecclesiastes?
I don't know, I'd have to look,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it helps me
Yeah.
a lot because it's like, yeah, you can't add another hour to your life by worrying. You're not going to change the outcome by worrying. You can change an outcome by putting in effort and taking action, but me sitting here having a million thoughts in my head, it's not going to change anything. You know what I mean? Unless those thoughts are productive thoughts or positive thoughts on what I can do, you know? I don't really know where I was going with that, but it's
No,
interesting
yeah,
that we
but
came
like,
from the same environment and you've always been more like logical, macro kind of math, that thing, and I've always been more like particular psychology, English, um, individualized. Not that we each don't have a little bit of both, but interesting.
for sure. But I think just based on what I studied, honestly, like what I found interesting,
Mhm.
and I mean, even though we were both raised in the same household, there's so many different factors that play into it. Like we were raised in the same household, but I was your older brother,
And I was your
right?
younger sister. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's even that plays a difference in how you're going to interact with the world and interact with people and interact with
Mhm.
jobs. Like like there's a thing in my mind that if something ever happened to mom and dad, like I'm the one taking care of you. Like after that, right? Like there's no thought in your mind that if something happens to mom and dad that you're going to take care of me, right? I mean,
Well, to an extent, yeah.
yeah, right, but but in my mind, I am self prepared that if something happens to mom and dad, like I'm the one that's going to make sure you're okay. Like
Yeah.
there's I know that there's going to be things that you do to help me, and like talking through it, especially, would be one
Yeah, but it's
thing.
like
But like,
dynamics of family,
yeah,
you know? Yeah.
yeah. So like,
And
that's not something that you probably think about often, or even think I think about that often. But I
it's not
do.
something I think that you think about, but it's something I always think about stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting what runs through people's mind without realizing it,
You know
you know?
what's really really freeing though is it's freeing, but it also is kind of like whoa. Is that God already knows when you're gonna die, right? So like He already has that like set good to go. Like
Yeah.
he knows when you're going,
Yeah.
which it's kind of weird because it's like, okay, if you know, is it tomorrow? or is it later, or like when it like? Can you let me know?
Can I RCP?
Yeah, but then even it's also freeing though, because then it's like, oh, I can do whatever not whatever I want, but like I can take chances because
Mhm. If that's
he
not the
already
day,
knows if
it's
it's
not the
going to work
day.
out or not, so I can take these chances anyway.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think I had something good. I lost it.
Can I say something good I had?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't remember what part of what you said like a minute ago made me think of this, but it had to do with perception. So something I always thought was interesting was that how we perceive the world affects our reality, and the way that we interact with the world and what the world does to us affects our perception. So we're perceiving reality in a way. Hold on, let me say it better. The things that happen externally around us affects our reality because it affects our perception. But our reality and what we see in the outside world is coming from our perception. We're seeing things a certain way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You word things better than I do.
It's what you choose to
It's like back and
accept.
forth.
It's what
Huh?
you choose to accept, though. Like, do you choose, like, if you're looking at the world,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this world's beautiful. And someone goes, actually, it's not, because you see, like, you see how you see the sunset? There used to be trees here, and someone knocked the trees over. So
Hmm.
it's actually not beautiful because someone took all the trees from here.
Yeah.
And then you go to someone else, and it's like, oh, it's so awful over here. They took all the trees. And then the
Yeah.
person's like, well, there used to be bears that like killed the townspeople in those trees. That's why they got rid of the trees. And you're like, oh, now my perception has changed. And
Yeah.
then you go to someone else, you're like, wow, it's great they got rid of those trees because now there's no bears. And they go, yeah, but we weren't, the bears were here before us. We moved in on the bears, and now you're back to, oh, we're awful again. Like, and it
Did
just
you just come
never
up with that?
ends. Yeah. It
That was
just
good,
never
Joe.
it, it never ends until you finally say, okay, what's going to be my perception on this, and how am I going to
Mhm.
view this, and what
Yeah.
do I want to view this as, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is whenever we go throughout experiences in life, the external stimuli around us gets absorbed into our brain, and then we create ideas and beliefs and all of these things that then create our perception of reality. So then the reality that we're seeing is only being seen in a certain way based off of how we observe that external stimuli. Does that make sense?
It does. And actually, even though
Okay.
I said I did just make this up on the spot, which I did, right?
Are you going to talk about the
But
horse analogy, the
but
horses and the sun?
there is something just
I thought of
like
that
it,
too.
and I didn't want people to think I was like, oh, I came up with that concept on my own. Like, while we're
Yeah.
sitting here, that came to
Nice
my mind.
citation.
But then as I thought, I was like, huh,
Yeah.
it's because you're like, did you just come up with that? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And then I was like, wait, is there something like that I'm missing?
Yeah.
That,
Because I was going to bring that
yeah,
analogy up, the horse analogy. Yeah.
yeah. For those of you that don't know, the horse analogy is, what's it? The guy, one of his horses runs away, and everyone's like,
Uh,
"Oh,
so,
that's awful." I know. Do you
so
know the whole? If you know the whole thing, go ahead.
I remember part of it, and don't quote me on the exactness of it, but basically a dad is outside with his son and they're playing, and then his son Blake breaks his leg, and the son, oh my gosh, that's so awful, like your son broke his leg, I'm so sorry that happened. He goes, it's not good or bad, it's okay, whatever. The next day the people from the army come and they're trying to recruit his son to take him away to a really dangerous war. They can't recruit him because he broke his leg, so he gets to stay home with his son. And then the next day, one of his horses runs away. Oh, that's so awful! Your horses run away. Da da da. All this stuff, and then like the horse comes back with like 5 more horses or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember the rest. Take it from here if you know it.
So you flip flop that.
Okay.
So it's in the beginning. They're outside playing, and a horse escapes. Everyone's like, "Wow, that's
Okay.
terrible." And he's like,
Mm.
"Well, we'll see." Right?
We'll see. That's what he said.
We'll see if it's terrible. Then he
Yeah.
comes back with 3 other horses, and they're like,
Okay.
"Wow, 3 other horses! Like, you guys are so lucky." And he goes, "Yeah, we'll see."
Mhm.
But then as the son's breaking in one of the horses, he falls off, breaks his leg. And they're like, oh, that's so terrible. You should get rid of that horse. It hurt your son. And he's like, no, like, we'll see. And then the army recruiters come for the son, and
Mhm.
they can't take him because his leg's broken. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay. And then they're like, wow, good for you. And like, I think it ends there. You just flip
Yeah.
flopped it, but it ends there. And like, it's kind of like the fading bias that you talked about earlier that you sent to me. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Like, everyone's like, wow, it's so bad. It's so bad. And,
We'll see.
but we'll see. Because the fading bias talks about like everything fades and bad things tend to fade faster because we forget
Mhm.
it by distracting ourselves and everything. But good things tend to stick around a little bit longer. So just when bad things happen, just wait it out, and it'll tend to
Yeah.
fix itself most of the time. Like, that's something that I always
Yeah.
have to keep in mind. Like the universe fixes stuff. So if you feel like you're getting like really ahead, like the universe will fix that. So just
Mhm.
be weary and like be ready for the fall, because the universe is
Yeah.
going to fix whatever run you're on to
Yeah.
get everything back to normal.
I
Um,
think another thing, just like in relate, were you done? Sorry.
no, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Just in relation to that, um, I posted this on my Instagram story, but I've always loved this analogy or this idea or whatever you want to call it. In this aspect, it's the burnt toast theory.
Mm,
Have you heard that? So
yeah,
basically, I've always kind of had the thing like, okay, whenever I'm stuck in traffic, I used to get really mad about it, and I'm like, okay, what if I wasn't stuck in this traffic? I was 2 more minutes down the road and I got in a car accident. Things like that. And the burnt toast theory is basically, oh, you burnt your toast this morning. Oh, you were stuck at a traffic light for too long. Oh, you were running late. You forgot your keys, so you have to run back inside. Okay, what if all of those little minute things did not happen? And then because of that, something catastrophic, or not even catastrophic, what if just something like 5 times worse happened? You know what I mean? So when these little tasks or these little inconveniences that seem inconvenient, whenever they happen, just try to sit back and be like, this is not the worst. I'll be fine. No matter how mad I get or how much raid rage I get for being stuck in traffic or whatever the case is, it's not going to change anything. And if anything, this could be for my benefit and I just have no idea.
Raid
And I
Road is
think,
crazy.
yeah. Did I say that?
Yeah, you
Oh
said
my gosh,
raid
road rage.
rage.
Sorry, sometimes I talk too fast for my thoughts, or my thoughts are going, so then I try to talk
Yeah,
fast and I can't keep up. But okay, and then to expand on that, I think the idea that okay, obviously, like, some things are bad, right? Like murder, like, stuff like that. But I think
but
inherently, you
even
know that
then,
side of me.
you can like,
Joe,
yeah,
I knew you were gonna say that. Okay, just
like
let me.
like
I knew you were gonna say that.
yeah. But what if like there's so many different outcomes that
Do
can
you know what
come?
I'm gonna
Like,
say?
go ahead.
That nothing is inherently good or bad. It's the value that we place on it that is good or bad.
Yeah, even like sounds. Like if someone cusses you out in German, you
Mhm.
have no idea
No
what they
idea.
said. You
Yeah,
have
so it's
no
not gonna have
idea
effect
what they
on you.
said. So just whenever someone talks poorly, like about you or about someone else, just be like, "Oh, I don't speak that language." Like, sorry, not literally, because that's
That's a
rude,
good
but
one.
like, just I don't speak that language. Sorry, I don't
I'm
speak
gonna use
hater.
that for sure. No, but I like from
Just
what you were
confuse people. Like what language are you speaking? I
that
can't
you're not
understand what you're
intellectual.
saying.
You don't know. You don't understand.
Yeah, sorry.
No, but to what you were saying, if someone cusses you out in German or whatever the language is, and they say those bad things, that's not going to affect me because I don't place value on it. I don't have value on those words because I don't know what you're saying. And same relation, if someone's cussing me out in English, saying awful things to me, whatever, if I don't place my value on that, it's not going to have an effect on me. And I think also that what comes with that, are you good?
Yeah, I just dropped my pen.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, we're
Um,
good.
what comes with that? Oh, did I lose my train of thought? Not placing value on words. Da, 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 da. What comes with that is knowing yourself. If someone
Freedom.
is saying something bad about you, did you just rib it?
I said freedom.
Oh, freedom. Yeah, yeah,
Freedom.
freedom.
Freedom from other people having control over what you think about yourself and how you operate, because that's
Yeah.
all that is.
Well, here's the thing: if you know something about yourself, that's if you know yourself well enough to know the facts about yourself. Like for you, example, if someone ever came up to me and was like, "Yeah, Joe's not really a hardworking person," I'd be like, "Are you dumb?" I wouldn't say that, but I would be like, "Okay, like that's not like an educated thing to say. That doesn't even make sense because I know for a fact that you are a hardworking person. When you know yourself, you know your values, you know what you're good at, you know the type of person that you are. If someone told me, Sarah, you're not creative, I'd be like, that's a dumb thing to say. You know
It's
what I
almost
mean? Like, because I
it's
know it as a
almost like
fact.
it's almost comical, right? Like, and that's
Yeah.
how, and it's not like this petty, like, no, it's genuinely like, oh wow, like you think, like if someone's like, oh, you don't even work out, I'd be like I literally would be like, okay, like I don't even
Okay.
have, like,
Sure.
like, go ahead, you got it,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think it's good for people to know themselves because then, like, if when someone talks down on you and and just whatever, it's like, oh, like you sound kind of dumb, to be honest. And on
yeah,
top of that, say someone does say something that might be a little bit true, whatever. You could be like, you know what, I might not be that, but I know I'm this, this, and this, and that's important to me, and that's what means a lot to me.
yeah,
You know, so
and
it's important to know who you are to
yeah,
an
but
extent. It's
I
not
also
easy.
think it's important to back yourself, like you
Mhm.
have to back who you think you are with actions.
Yes.
Because then if you don't, then it's just straight delusion. And
Yeah.
yeah. And delusion, the literal word delusion is like I think it's like a veering from the actual picture or a
Mm.
deviation of the actual picture, right?
Yeah.
Or deviating from the actual picture.
We get
So
the concept, something like that.
yeah, so if you like are like, oh, like I'm a hard worker, and you're 25, never had a job, never went to college, stay at home and play video games all day. I mean, I don't even know from a psychological perspective,
Mhm.
has there been anything precedented like that where like someone genuinely thinks that there's something that they're not, like, oh, I'm a CIA
Narcissism?
agent, and his mom's like, he's never left his room, like he's not a CIA agent, like
Well,
what's
Joe,
going
that would
on?
just be like that would be like schizophrenia or like a delusional mind space or DID. Let me not, because like I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know. That's like a
Like
whole different thing.
sure,
But
but imagine like every other part of him like is perfectly fine. Like he goes downstairs, he like he goes to work, or
mm,
maybe he has a full life, and just for some reason he's like, no, like I'm a CIA agent.
Joe, I
Like
don't know. I work with kids.
no, I know, but like
But okay, I will say this to your point. I had this, I'm not even gonna call it a revelation. I had this just kind of like aha moment, like let me think, 2021, 3 years ago. Um, and you might know this too. Do you want to keep talking about the CIA agent?
no, 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 no. I'll think about him later though, but I won't talk about him now.
Update me, okay?
Yeah.
Anyways, and this was just the example that I had from the headspace that I was in. So I always like said about myself, like one of my core things was like I'm a positive person, and I think you can attest that my entire life people always, oh, Sarah's so positive, she's so happy, she's so like, like energetic, positive, right? And so then whenever I would just go about my day, I'd be like, yeah, like I'm a really positive person and like da da da. And I just had that like belief about myself, but it was misconstrued. And like you said, it was deviated from the truth. Because one day when I really like sat and looked, I was like, I say I'm a positive person, but if I really look at like my thought patterns, the things I think, the things I say, the the way that I go about my life, I mean, there is parts of it that's positive, but I was like, for the most part, this is not positivity at all. And like some of the things that I went through that year, and it was just like I really had to sit back and be like, how am I supposed to say I'm a positive person and I'm happy and I'm energetic and da da and I'm all this stuff when none of my actions or even thought patterns align with that? Here and there, sure, but for the majority, no. So I was like, maybe I'm just saying that because that's the type of person I want to be. Maybe it was put in my head and put in my heart because that's the type of person I'm supposed to be, you know?
Well, I also think that if you would have never been saying to yourself, I am a positive person, I am a positive person, that you also would have never checked yourself.
Mhm.
So I think because you were saying it, it led you to a point of checking yourself. Like, you had a crossroads with truth. Like, am
Yeah.
I truly doing the things that I'm saying I'm doing? And am I truly acting how I'm saying I'm acting?
Mhm.
Because I would always say, like, oh, I'm big because I play football. That's
I
why I eat
remember,
a lot of
yeah.
food because I play football. That's why I'm fat
Mhm.
because I play football.
Mhm.
And then when I didn't play football anymore, it's like, okay, now why are you fat?
Yeah.
Because you don't
I
have
remember just
football
hearing that.
anymore,
Yeah.
and you're still fat.
Still
You're
fat, man.
still fat. So
So
not only are you
until you don't
fat,
get it.
you're bigger than you were when you played football. You lost weight after playing football and then blew up
Yeah.
to bigger than before you
Mhm.
when you even played football.
Yeah.
Uh, So I was sort of oh, it's all muscle.
We were told we were big boned.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just naturally
We're
that
just
big.
big
You're just
boned.
naturally 340 pounds. No, you're not. It's
Yeah, so then
probably
you have to check yourself.
it's probably the fried chicken. It's probably the brownies. It's probably the ice cream mixed with chocolate syrup that you
It's
mix
probably
together at night and eat
yeah.
every single night. It's probably
Yeah.
that.
It's probably the homemade nachos.
And it's
Joe, never mind.
the
I was gonna tell them.
Go ahead.
Joe would get an entire. Listen, I'd indulge too. I would indulge. I'd be like, hey, give me one. But Joe would get either like Ritz crackers are a big one. Ritz
Oh,
crackers
I
or like
forgot about
tortilla,
those.
right? Which, by the way, cancer causing. But that or like tortilla chips, and then like take like I'm not even trying to sound mean when I say this, but you would take like half a bag of like shredded cheese and put it on the entire thing, pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and sit there and eat like a big plate, like a whole plate of it.
I used to
Which
layer them.
sweat, yeah,
I do a layer of scoops, cheese, layer of scoops, cheese, layer
yeah.
of
It was like
like a
a nacho
perfect layer.
lasagna.
Like there was not
Mm-mm.
nachos that didn't have cheese all up in them. Like
Yeah,
and mind you, for those listening, it wasn't a half a bag of like Kraft cheese. It was half a bag of Kirkland signature 4 cheese Mexican style cheese. So it's probably like 3 cups of cheese that I'd put on this plate
yeah,
and then eat it. And
yeah,
I truly feel like the way that I ate food also affected my mental health like so much. Like,
yes.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I brought it there.
My favorite topic.
Yeah,
One of them.
I mean, I feel like mentally, spiritually, and emotionally and physically, it's all connected. Like your
100%. 1000%.
mental health is, and it's scary because it's like, wow, like that's so much all together. But then also, it's like, well, if I fix one, do I fix the other ones too? And it's like, yes, yes,
Hmm.
like yes, you do. So you can
Yeah,
pick one to fix,
yeah,
and the others are gonna get fixed as well.
100%.
Like
I
they're like,
think,
oh, well, if I go running, is that gonna help me mentally? Yeah, probably because you go, wow, I can physically run 2 miles. What else can I do that I haven't been doing?
well, just on top of that, like the science behind it, like when you exercise, your body releases endorphins. Like you're
Yeah,
going to get happier. That's going to relieve pain mentally or physically.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then going back to food, the food you eat has a direct effect on your mood. It's scientifically proven. It's not like, oh, no, 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 whatever. And people even like to say, oh, no, like, but like when I have, again, teach their own, like whatever the case is. Oh, like when I have like Oreos or a cupcake, which I love an Oreo and a cupcake. I do. But when I have that, I feel happy. Yeah, because you're getting a dopamine hit. You're not getting a serotonin hit. Dopamine is pleasure, instant gratification, all of that stuff. Serotonin, our gut literally produces 90 to 95% of the serotonin in our body. You think if you're putting processed foods, chemicals, all of that stuff into your gut, it's going to be happy. It's going to release like a right amount of serotonin. It's going to make you feel good. No, when you eat things, it goes to your gut. Your gut breaks it down into chemicals. Your microbiome's down there. Your gut is your second brain. It releases a lot of. It has 100 to 600 million. Quote me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. 100 to 600 million neurons in it. And you
I have
think that
no
what you
idea.
feed it is not important? It is. It's going to affect your mood. It's linked. High sugar is linked to anxiety and depression. Just things like that. Like what you put into your body matters. The food that you eat matters, and it's going to affect you.
Yeah, I feel like especially like the food with the instant dopamine hit. I feel like you can only distract yourself so much, right? And I feel like that's what that does. It distracts you from your true goal, which I know people are like body positivity, meet people where they're at. Which meeting people where they're at, I think, is actually a different thing than what I'm getting at right now. But
Mm,
body positivity, accept people as they are, accept them for what they want to do, and that's fine. I like I do accept people for what they want to do. If you
mm.
want to do it, that's fine.
That's
Um,
good.
one of my main things though is don't say that you don't want to be healthy. Right? Like
So
that irritates me when you're like, "No, no, no, I like being fat." No, I like it.
yeah,
I mean, unless their experience is completely different than mine, like I
yeah.
don't see why someone goes, "I would rather be useless and helpless and way overweight." And not useless and
I
helpless, right? But like
yeah. You already
in a
yeah.
critical situation, like if you're hanging from a house, right? And if you pull yourself up, you're up to safety. If you can't pull yourself up, like in that
Metaphorically, yeah.
situation, in that no, not metaphorically.
Well,
I'm
Joe, how
talking,
often are you hanging from a house? But I will
but
say this to your point. What?
I'm just saying, like
Wait, let's take a breath.
there's, but there's a level of like things that I don't think people think about whenever they just say like, "Oh, I like being fat." Like I don't
This
know.
is my thing, and then I'm gonna ask you a question that relates to what you just said.
Yeah.
So my thing is that if someone, and I'm gonna relate it to like people in my life, and then like other people. If someone is overweight, just like a random person, I don't care. It's not my problem. It's not. You do you. You live your life how you want to live it. That it does not affect me whatsoever. So I have no judgment for those people because again, you don't know where people are at. What I will say though is that with the people in my life specifically that I love and I care about, the food that you eat, again, it's going to affect your mood. It can cause anxiety. It can cause depression. You're just not gonna live as long scientifically. You're not gonna live as long if you eat processed food, chemicals, awful things for you. So not only will you possibly not live as long as you could, you're also not going to be as happy as you could during that time. So with the people in my life that I love, I do care about it because I want you to be happy. I want you to be the happiest you can be. I want you to be around so that we can spend time together. I want you to be here for longer. I want you to live a successful life, a life that is fulfilling to you. So I do care about it in that aspect. And you know what? I do kind of care about the strangers too in a way because I'm like, we're all one. We're all human.
Why
We're all here.
wouldn't
I
you
want
want
you to
them to
be happy.
also yeah,
Yeah. I want
exactly.
you to be happy and healthy. We can all be together and sing songs, dance. You know what I mean? Like, and not that it affects my life. It's just like, in that instance, the food that you eat, the way that you take care of yourself matters. It's going to affect every single aspect in your life. It will. And so for the people in my life, I try to push for that.
Yeah. And I don't think that we shouldn't meet people where they're at, right? Like there's
Yeah.
an acceptance portion that comes whenever you finally see that you're overweight, right? Like I had to go
Mhm.
through an acceptance phase. And the acceptance phase wasn't necessarily like, "Oh, I accept myself and I love myself. So I'm going to continue to eat awfully and eat processed junk food because I love myself." That's not what it was. What it was an experience of, okay, here's where you're at. Don't panic. Yes, the next 6.5 months are gonna suck.
Mm.
But like you're at where you're at. You know what to do. Like you
Mhm.
know running helps you lose weight. You know eating grilled chicken helps you lose weight. Just
Mhm.
do that. just half a bag of rice, chicken, and broccoli. Half a bag of
Mhm.
rice, chicken, and broccoli. Like just do that. Just
Mhm.
do that and don't deviate from it
Yeah.
and run all the time and go to the
Yeah.
gym all the time and you'll make it. You'll do it. But
Mhm.
there's a difference between accepting and just letting things still slide.
Yeah. 100%. I think you and I could both attest to it because I mean, obviously our weight loss journeys were like very, very different, but I think we had both had the habits of letting things slide. Oh, this doesn't count. Oh no, this isn't really affecting me. Oh no, I'll be fine. I don't feel like going to the gym today. Whatever. And now it's like we both go insane if we like have a cookie and don't go to the gym, but which also that's also the other side of it that's like not really healthy, you know? You can't beat yourself up over stuff like that. But yeah, consistency, like you were saying earlier, is extremely important because showing consistency to yourself is showing yourself love.
Yeah. And sometimes like I go to the gym and then like today I ran a 5K. So I'm like, best believe I'm having a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Love a
Like
Reese's.
it's because I did that now I can enjoy a Reese's cup.
Mhm,
Because I'm not in a stage right now where I'm trying to cut heavily. But
mhm.
if you want to cut heavily, you got to go there. You got to go to doing it and
Yeah,
then still eating grilled chicken, like
yeah,
doing it and still having half a cup of rice and
yeah,
grilled chicken and broccoli.
yeah,
Because so there's life, like there's a lot of duality to life, right? Like there's the
yes.
duality of the one side where it's joy and happiness and love, and you can call that
My favorite side.
serotonin, serotonin.
Serotonin.
Oh yeah, I heard it. Endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, there's that side, right? But then there's also the side of cortisol and there's the side of
Adrenaline.
putting your body under stress.
Mhm,
And in life you can either choose to have a stress and choose your stress or
mhm.
life will make your stress for you. Like if you're
Yeah,
so used to dopamine, 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 so, well, it gets to a point where your threshold for dopamine is here. So even something here that isn't this much dopamine makes you feel bad, even though most people
exactly.
live here because they go to the gym. So here is like, whoa, that was insane
Mhm.
dopamine. But like for you, it's dates, like dates, like the fruit dates,
Yeah.
like dates are awful. And it's like, yeah, dates are awful because you've been having Hershey chocolate bars for the past 3 hours. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Your
dates are going to
threshold is
taste
different.
awful to you. But for
Mhm.
someone who's been fasting for 24 hours, a date is
Are we
like,
good?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to find that balance of keeping that threshold of like where's my baseline at, right?
Mhm,
And like if you go here, say like, oh, going out drinking with my friends, had some pizza, the next day you're gonna have to like run and do all these things down here that then bring your baseline back to here. And if you keep
mhm.
going up and up and up and up and up and up and never do anything to bring your baseline back down, then you're gonna be stuck up here. And a minor inconvenience is gonna send you spiraling.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're here because you've been working out, any minor inconvenience is actually up here. You're like, "Oh, maybe I can make something good out of that. Actually, I don't even think that's a bad thing at all."
Sorry.
Someone
Yeah.
ever come to you with bad news and they're like, "You want the bad news or the good news first?" And they give you the bad news, and you're like, "That's it? That's the bad news? What's the good news?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, here's the good news," and you're like, "Dude, those are both good newses. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with both of those things happening." Or
Yeah.
someone comes up to you and they're like, "Oh, you're never gonna believe what happened." And then you're like,
And
"What?"
then it's like,
And
does
it's
it
something that's like, "Oh, I'll handle that in 30 seconds. It's perfect."
that
What are you talking
I
about?
I definitely share that experience. I think this is so I was like that for a lot of my life. I still like kind of am. I'm like, come on, like let's really push ourselves. Like we can handle this like type of thing. Because people tell me like bad news and stuff like that sometimes, and I'm like, well, that's I mean like like way worse can happen. I think I always kind of think in that thought pattern. We're like, oh, this happened. Okay, well at least this didn't happen. right? Kind of earlier, like when we were talking about
Yeah.
the traffic. Oh, I got stuck in
Yeah.
traffic. I can't. This is the worst day ever. Of course, this would happen. I'm like, okay, 10
Yeah.
something. Your car could be total right now, and you could be in the hospital. Like you're fine. It's okay. Like you'll be fine. Which
Yeah.
not this is not to invalidate people's emotions or experiences because people are only at a certain level of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Everybody's at a different level. Someone could be a pint, someone could be a gallon, someone could be a cup. You don't know where they are,
Yeah.
right? And so it could feel like their entire pint is full and they just don't, they're going haywire and they don't know what they're doing. But if you're a gallon of emotional intelligence, a pint to you is gonna be like, okay, like we're good. We're like, only a little bit the way there. I don't know how many pints make a gallon. So
I don't know off the top of my head either.
you know what I'm saying though?
4? 4? No, it's not 4. It's like
We're
eight.
gonna keep it
8.
pushing.
It's
I
like
don't
8
think
or
we
something.
know.
I don't know. But
Anyways,
yeah,
so
and
then
you're
with that, what?
yeah. No, go ahead. Are you still talking? You still
I
have
forget
something?
what I was gonna say. But basically,
Well,
not to invalidate anybody, but I do understand what you're saying, and I think adopting the mindset where you're like, you know what, this is happening, but it could be worse. And guess what? I have A, B, and C also that are good things. So,
yeah, I mean, I think understanding the landscape of that emotional intelligence too is important. Like
mhm,
when you understand emotional intelligence as a whole, some people may think that as, oh, I understand my own personal emotional intelligence, but then there's also the concept of understanding emotional intelligence as a whole and understanding other people's emotional intelligence as well. I
yes.
remember one time, um, there was something that you got really upset over, and it was, I think dad had said something to you, and you got really, really upset. But like, I was like, why would you get upset over that?
Mm.
And even like dad was like, why'd she get upset? He's like, I've been through way worse, right? And I like explained it to him
Oh, I
like,
remember this.
yeah. I
You're
explained it
like,
to
well,
him
she's
like,
14 or
yeah, like
something.
she's no, you were like 17 or something. And he's
Oh,
like,
whatever.
I dealt with way worse stuff at 17. I'm like, yeah, but you still don't understand, right? Like, right, I didn't say you didn't understand. Like
No,
I was trying
I
to
was,
help the situation,
no, yeah,
right?
yeah. I didn't have as much experience. So you go.
Yeah.
You already know what I'm going to say.
Well, like so right right here's your homeostasis, right? And right
Mm-hmm.
here is your pain, like let's say right here is your pain threshold
Mm-hmm.
for like the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
Yes.
So if he does something or he says something that hurts you slightly more than the worst thing that's ever been said to you, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to then be the worst
The
thing
worst.
that
Yeah.
was ever said to you,
Yeah.
right? It made you feel the worst, and it wasn't that bad. It was like him saying like, you need to clean up the laundry because you don't do the laundry, and you like got really upset or something,
I,
and
I
like it
don't think
was
it
a
was that.
valid. Huh, I don't remember, but
Yeah.
I
No,
remember
but
that
I
it
get
was
what you're
like
saying.
remotely valid, but like it was still like
Yeah.
the fact that he wasn't understanding like
Mm-hmm.
why you were upset. Like I tried to like
Yeah,
guide
because
that
at
where
the
I was like,
time
yeah,
I didn't have enough experience for because like that's whatever it was could it wasn't obviously the worst thing ever said to me, but it could have been one of the worst things that was ever said to me or something I was really sensitive to at that time in my life. And because I only have 17 years of experience and not 50 like whatever it was at the time, like 50 years of experience, that's not even close to the worst thing he's ever heard. You know what I mean? Or whoever the
no, not
person is.
no,
Not
and
even
he,
close. But to
yeah,
me, because my brain has only been here for 17 years, only has so much experience, I'm like, "Oh my goodness. Like what the heck?" So then in relation to that, um like people, like things that we have been through is different than things that other people have been through. So when something is really really bad and awful to somebody, it's the worst day ever to us, or vice versa, that could be like, okay, not again.
yeah,
Someone else's bad doesn't make someone else's bad better. You know, just because this is worse. It doesn't make their bad better. But I will
and
say
same
this.
thing with good.
Oh yeah, 100%. And someone else's good doesn't make your good worse just because it's a little bit better subjectively. But yeah, I think it's important that when you're communicating with somebody and they're really upset about something or really triggered by something or and you just can't understand why. It could be because that same thing wouldn't affect you. You don't have the same wounds, you don't have the same trauma, or you don't have the same experience, and so you don't understand it. But also, maybe that's the worst thing someone's ever said to them. Maybe this is the most stressful situation they've ever been in. Maybe this is the worst fight they've ever been in. That's happened to me before, where I got in a fight with somebody and I was totally fine, and then that person thought I was never going to speak to them again. And I was like, why would you think that? That was like nothing. And they were like, that's the worst fight I've ever been in. And I was like, well, I didn't even yell or anything. So
Yeah,
it
but
really just
then
goes to show.
yeah. But then like do you also understand then whenever you're in a situation and someone's fighting with you and they're like, "Why are you even upset?" And you're like,
Exactly.
"Well, clearly, like I'm
I'm
upset."
like, because you're being really mean to me and no one's ever said
Yeah.
this to me before.
When like
Yeah,
the
so
other
it just
person, when you
depends,
were
vice
fighting with
versa.
them, they're freaking out and you're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, so it's important to meet people like where they are or try to put yourself in those shoes and try to understand it. And if you can't understand it, ask about it. Talk to them about it. Get to know like why that upset them, what you can do to fix it. And going the whole way back to the beginning, that's why it's important to know yourself
Yeah.
and know what triggers you and know what makes you upset and knows what's going to make you feel better.
And also being able to experiment with yourself, with your diet and with
Mm.
how that affects you emotionally.
Yeah.
Because if you know not only yourself with your personal interests, your experience, but if you know like how you react, like I remember when the kids were younger, Sam would be like, they can't have red dye
Our
40.
nieces and nephews. Yeah.
Yeah. They can't have red dye 40. Because Sam
Mhm.
has done enough experiments where when she gives the kids red dye 40, they're up until midnight.
Yeah. She
So
knows.
so she can't give them red dye 40 like
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah.
Where like if you finally go, okay, I'm gonna have a mocha iced coffee, right, with like cream and sugar and everything, and then you immediately feel bad afterwards, and you
Hmm.
start paying attention to why, like, oh, I feel bad. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, I had a black coffee and I felt okay. What's the difference here? Like
Yeah.
almost
What's the variable?
experimenting with different foods and different ways of eating
Yeah.
to optimize or
Yeah.
optimize yourself rather
Mhm.
mentally,
100%.
physically, and emotionally.
Well, and I think that goes back to like what we were saying, that the food that you intake, that has an effect on you. Like you were saying earlier, if you have a breakfast that's super sweet and full of sugar, you're not setting yourself up to have an emotionally stable day.
Oh,
You
like
could.
pancakes are the worst thing that you can eat in the morning. I
I
don't
like
even
chips
know
with
where that
pancakes,
came from. Where people
but
are like, let's
well,
take
even dude,
waffles
cereal,
and put chocolate chips in waffles and
because
then
you wouldn't
cover it in
know. But
Nutella and then whipped cream and then that's gonna get
yo,
my day rolling. And you're
I
what?
used
Like
to, yeah,
what?
because it does for like an hour until you crash. Your
No,
blood sugar's
no, I
gonna.
immediately am ready for bed. I don't know I don't know what you're talking about. The
So
moment that I have a corner of a chocolate chip waffle, I'm ready to pass out for the remainder of the day.
that's me
Every
with
time.
coffee because I have ADHD, so I have a dopamine deficiency in my brain. So then coffee puts dopamine back into my brain, so it makes me feel calm and I want to go to bed. But I don't feel it as often with food. But guess chocolate chip pancakes just aren't for you, huh?
Do you put creamer in your coffee?
I put oat milk in my coffee.
That's not good for you.
Why?
Look it up. I'm not I
You
don't
just tell
want to
me.
I don't want to put it out information. It's not the best for you.
Okay,
Where where's the
we'll
milk
go
on
back
the
to that.
oat? It's mm.
Can they like
Where's the milk
milk?
come from? It's
What if they
ground up
just like
oats.
crush?
You're eating ground up oats. It's straight carbs.
Yeah, but okay, fine. Look it up. I'll get back to you.
I mean, if there is a dairy issue, like I understand, but like there's lactose free milk.
Joe. Okay, should I switch to almond milk or is that just crushed up
I mean, yeah, it's just crushed up. It's just high in
almond?
fat. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, so is milk. I mean, it's just, in my opinion and in my experience, whenever I eat food that's natural with no sugar added, it makes
Mhm.
me feel better. So that's just been my experience with food.
Yeah.
When
If I check my percentage, is it gonna stop the podcast?
I don't know. It's a great question, but like at the same time, we can just stop right here. I mean, we've talked a lot, and it's just yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could
I have more
definitely
I
have
want to say, but well, I mean, let's do another one.
we could literally do another one tomorrow as long as I have time. Yeah.
Okay, super
Like,
fun.
I have to go to the gym and I have to do some things, but
I'm sick.
yeah. Well,
What was our word?
check out what you've been eating. Emotional navigation.
Well, I actually prescribed myself a walk to the pond, a couple oranges, and some tea, and I feel a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prescribe
took an
yourself
Advil, and I'll
activities
say.
and natural foods.
Yeah,
Not
and some fresh
medication.
air and some deep breaths, and I
And
feel
if
better
anyone
already.
would like to fight me on that point, they
Please do it.
They can certainly do so.
Please join in. We'd love to talk.
Because we will win.
Win. We will scientifically win. We will come with every fact.
We were talking about earlier. If you put me in a room and say, "Figure this out," I will figure it out.
You will figure it out
so fast.
Hey, why are you explaining me?
Huh?
You said I. I feel like I'm included.
I said like I said earlier. Because earlier I was talking about when I was put in a room. If I was put in a room to figure something out.
Can I be in the room too?
I mean, sure, but you can't have your
Okay.
phone. If you have your phone, we're both screwed. You
I don't
can't
wanna
have
go to
your
the
phone.
room.
Yeah, you can't have your phone.
Anyways, yeah. That's another thing. This again, stuff you put in your body. I'm not gonna feel good if I have an antioxidant or an antibiotic, a Mucinex, and like 5 other things in my system. I felt great because I had some oranges and tea, and I went outside in the sun. Which to each their own. I just have a little cold, but
And also, maybe think about what you consume mentally,
yes,
and not always just physically.
yes, it's all connected.
But we have time for another podcast here in the near future. We're at an hour already, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment slay if you listen the whole way.
Mom will comment slay.
Mom, comment slay.
Well, yeah. Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Parker
Follow
Pod.
me on Instagram.
The Parker
Just kidding,
Pod.
please don't.
I think you're. Oh, all right, never mind.
Follow me on Apple Music, honestly.
Are you on Apple Music?
Follow Joe. Huh?
Are you on Apple Music?
I have. Everybody has an Apple Music profile.
Oh yeah, no, I guess. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah. So follow us on Spotify.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm gonna
The
stick
word
to
I think should be
Instagram.
self-care. Self-care and self-realization.
So
I
have it as emotional navigation right now.
We should change that for sure.
Okay. I can change it. I will change it when we're done.
Yeah, what you're set on right now is the book The Body Keeps Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. So it kind of relates.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll shoot another episode here soon. I would like to have you on like frequently, actually. I would like to not. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be opposed to like every 4th or 5th episode having you on.
Okay. Do I get
Wow.
what's it called? Reimbursement or
reimbursement?
Do I get a percentage?
A percentage of sure, you can have a percentage of my company because at the moment our revenue is 0 and our expenses are 200. So if you want to pay me $50,
I'm gonna plug
sure
this
you
in
can.
because I'm scared it's gonna die.
You're good. We can end it right here.
Oh my god, Joey, like 2%. Look at that.
Boom. But thank you for coming on, and we're gonna get you update your iPad so we don't have this issue next time. But
yeah. I'm on my phone.
All right.
Peace
out.
Bye. Love ya.
Love you too.